Creativity has been a thread through everything in my life that I didn't realize. It was how I handled the world. It was my meditation. It was my escape. It was my time. There's struggle in art. I'm not saying that it's all, rainbows and lollipops every second, but it's a worthy struggle. It's a meaningful struggle where you're like, okay, what color do I put here? How is this going to look? It's the kind of stuff that moves you forward in an exciting way. In the beginning, I wanted everything to go perfectly. It needs to be perfect. It needs to be right. It needs to be really good. And it would go really south. And I got to the point where I just kind of went, okay, so this is going to stink. Okay. Let's just trash it. Let's have some fun. And that's when stuff really started to happen. When I let myself screw it up, see where it takes me, because every time we pick up our art supply, every time we figure something else out. We either learn something about ourselves, what we like, what we don't like, how to use the supply, something that it does. But there's kind of no replacing actually making and doing. If you actually really go and look in museums, it is a wide range of stuff. And you can actually go through and I see their pencil lines. Oh, I see what they did. Like, if you really get up close to Picasso, you just really get in there and go, hey, you covered that up. Hey, that was your sketch line. They didn't get it right the first time. It just didn't magically come out. It's a process. So I was in the Museum of Modern Art in New York, and I remember looking at some of the different paintings and going, there are a lot of people that say this is not art. And there are a lot of people that say this is. And so if people can't agree on paintings that are selling for $10 and $20 million, if it's art or not, why do I even care if they think what I'm making is or isn't? In general, what I found is people get wrapped up in their heads way more than they have to be. So there are things that feel very complex, and they're really not. So I really like to break things down to just the basic understanding of it. Once you understand that in everyday terms, on a practical way, then you can see how you can arrange things in different ways, put things together to get different results. When I would make things, especially early on, and I'd get really frustrated that it didn't go as planned. And I knew that my frustration wasn't helpful. And I knew if I kept going, it would work out eventually. But I was so frustrated, I could not see straight. I couldn't get past my frustration. And that made this just much more difficult than it had to be. And when I really looked at what was going on and broke it down, it's like, I'm frustrated. That's the issue. How do I knock myself out of that and get me back into perspective? And one of the things I found is I cannot say oops with an angry tone and take myself seriously, because it's just a silly word. And that would snap me back into, okay, this is paper, this is paint. You are not, all of this is replaceable. This is crazy. And it gets me back into a more reasonable headspace, and then I can get back to playing. So OOPS is that reminder for outstanding opportunities presenting suddenly, formerly known as a mistake. Just use your art supplies. And whatever pressure that you take on with it is probably something that you're choosing to take on, which means you don't have to take it on. And then the other thing is you don't need a certain supply, because creativity, playing with your art supplies, all that stuff really doesn't require anything exact. It's just using what you have.